okay, so this is part 2 now of today, and we're going to have 3 because I pressed the stop button instead of the pause button. Anyway, so we were talking about this, that when you run apt-get update, then it downloads the list of third-party packages. And then here I just remove it because there's no point in storing them in my image. Okay. There are some other things that you can do to make the image smaller, I think. So I'm not sure if this one, the apt-gets, I think they download the zip file, but they don't remove it at the end. So probably there is a command to remove all the zip files of the packages that I installed. I don't know. I haven't checked that. Okay. And then workdir is just the definition of where it's basically like CD during the building of the image. Okay, so when you say workdir something, it basically CD is there, so all the other commands will go there if you say dot. But so this I install some stuff, then I copy the bash RC from my project. Okay, so this project has its own bash RC file. Why? Because I got fed up with the default bash RC file that came with the Ubuntu image, and I wanted to have, when I'm inside the image and I do stuff, I wanted to have my LL. And okay, so basically this is just a bash RC I have in the project and copy. Then I copy all the txt files. So what are there are the requirements txt. That's basically just a list. That's Python. So that's just basically a list of all the dependencies, the Python dependencies. And there is also constraints txt that has the list of all the Python packages that are installed with their specific version number. Okay. So the way it works is that now this is a much longer list, because this includes all the dependency tree. So here in the requirements, I only say which packages I need personally. The fact that Flask itself needs 30 other packages, I don't care. Okay, I don't explicitly say what other packages my immediate dependencies need. And here I could also say what are the minimum version or all kind of version information if I want to have some constraint, okay, in my project. But in this case, I didn't. I just say, okay, use basically whatever you have. So I have this. Then I installed all the packages using pip install -r and this file. That installed all the packages, and then Python has this pip freeze. Pip freeze would list you all the installed packages with their version number. And this is how I created this file. Okay. And so now this file has the list of all the packages that are installed on that system, with the specific version number that is installed. And in the Docker file, I'm going back now, I'm copying both of them. And then when I install, I say pip install -r, the requirements, -c, constraints, the constraints file. Okay, so this will install all of the requirements, but the specific version is taken from here. Okay. So it won't. The point here is that, let's say Flask doesn't change, but one of its dependencies does. I don't want that to happen on my system without my knowledge. So I fix the version number even to the deep dependencies.
Okay, so right. Okay, so this is essentially the same as cpan-m, but different. Doing it the
Yeah, so
Python way.
pip and cpan-m has similarities. It's more like Carton, I think.
Okay.
Carton and the cpan file.
Yeah.
Okay. And the npm has similar ways of controlling things. Okay. So many people only have the requirements file, and so in an open source project, which is so in a library that is used by other programmers, I would probably only put the requirements file, because I would say, okay, maybe that dependency has some minimal, and in the requirements I would put in the minimum version numbers that I need. Okay, that's quite a standard in Perl, the Perl world. That in the makefile PL you say which are the dependencies and what are the minimum versions of them. And this is what I would do here as well. So I would go to this requirements file and put here PyTest, let's say bigger than 1.2, whatever. Okay, if I really have a minimum requirement. But if I don't, then I would just list the names that I need. And this is what I do in a library. Okay, that's used by other programmers. In a project that is more like an application or something that's used by end users or deployed, I probably want a much stronger control of version numbers. I don't want, so if you're working at a company, you don't want that stuff suddenly upgrade. I mean, someone else installs your software in the development team, let's say. You don't want the other person to get the newer version of whatever packages you use, just because that person installed the software 2 days later.
Yep, understand the issue.
Right?
Sure.
At least you don't want that uncontrolled. You want to have some control over this. So that's why I use these constraints. And then you need to have some way of regularly update the version numbers here. Okay, because you don't want to also stay behind. You don't want to say, okay, I fixed it now, and 5 years later you notice, everything moved forward and I'm stuck 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will want to, and not even a month, okay? Because especially if your list of requirements is long, then things change, and then something can be incompatible, okay? And the longer you wait, the more difficult it's going to be to update everything. So in another project at one of my clients, the one where I had this long file, we are stuck basically because we have like 100 dependencies where we have many services and running on the same Docker. We are stuck on versions that were installed 3 years ago or 4 years ago, because every time I try to upgrade something, I upgrade this, and then it says you have to upgrade that. So okay, upgrade that. But then something else complains, okay, but I can't work with that. And then and so now it's going to take a lot of work to try to install everything the latest and see, and then obviously we have to test it, but sure. And now we already have a lot of tests in that project, like I think 40-50% test coverage, which is pretty good. I mean, when I started there was 0, so it's a lot now. But it's a big issue. So for that, actually, I just recently did something. It's so there is this dependabot that GitHub runs, and I just configured it for this project. This will run because I told it to run daily, but you can also say it weekly or monthly, I think, and check and it knows that I'm using pip. Okay, and it will check my constraints file and send me a pull request if something needs to be updated, if there is a newer version of something.
Okay.
And it's excellent because now I mean, you get tons of pull requests if you have a lot of dependencies, but you can, if you have a healthy CI system, okay, that will run your tests and verify that after this pull request is still everything fine, then you can very dynamically upgrade all the time everything in your constraints.
Yeah.
If you have a good enough test system that you trust.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely. Yeah.
So of course, this is a requirement. If you can't trust if you don't know how to test your software fast and in a reliable way, then you don't know how to upgrade anything basically, and that's a huge issue. But okay, so this is it. Any questions here? Up here?
Nope.
Okay. Then this command is basically a funny one because it's two dots. This dot means the current working directory on my host computer, and this says the current working directory inside the image, which is now /opt because of this. Okay, so this copies everything. Okay, so first I copy just the requirements. Why I do this? I don't remember anymore. Oh, I know, of course, I know, sure. Why do I do this in this? Why do I have these two steps? Because Docker will, if something,
right. Sorry,
okay,
kitty. Sorry, kitty.
Very interesting cat. Okay. So you might remember, I don't know if I said, so Docker has these whatever it's called, layers. Okay, so each command of each of these commands creates a new layer. And these layers are when you're building the image, okay? And these layers are cached. So if one layer changes, then Docker rebuilds that layer and all the layers below, but nothing above. So because I know that these text files, so the text files, the requirement and the constraints text file, they change rarely. But the rest of the source code changes frequently. Okay, so this way, that first I copy these three files basically, okay, the bashrc and this, and then I install everything. This part will be cached until I change some of the requirements. Okay, so even if I change any other file in my project, I don't need to install all the packages again and again when I rebuild the image. Okay.
Just a detail there. In the copy 3 lines up from where you are, presumably you could have said dot there at the end instead of /opt.
Yeah, it should
okay.
It's just dot. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is the reason I put this in this order, because this will save me time when I rebuild the image with some changes in my project. And this is an interesting thing why I have this. So I know why I have this, but why on both instances? That's probably a bug.
Okay.
Okay, because this one only needs to be actually. It doesn't matter. I think that's the point, that it doesn't matter. So I configure cron, but I only run it on one of them. So okay, both of them have the configuration cron configured, the cron file installed, but because I run cron itself only on one of the machines, the other one won't do the work. Okay, so that's why it's not an issue. Okay, but this is basically how I take so again, how I configure my cron tab. I also on my server, I have the cron tab txt file. Okay, so instead of manually editing the cron tab, I have this committed to my version control system, and then doesn't really matter what, it's just what you would write in the cron tab, and then I install that on the computer. So this is how you load basically cron tab, right? Are you familiar with this?
Roughly, yeah. I mean, cron tab, sure.
Yeah. So if you run cron tab -L, then you will list what is in the cron tab.
Yeah.
And if you write cron tab -E, then I think you edit it.
Yeah.
And if you say cron tab and the file name, it will just load that file and put it in the cron tab. So this is about what it does. But the image doesn't run the cron service by default. In the Docker compose, this is where we run cron actually. Okay, this is the command to run cron. And this is only executed on one of them. Okay, so it's not a big issue. And here I say again a parameter for the Flask web application, and it is in both containers have this, but one of them doesn't look at it, so it's okay. And this is the command, and I guess I will, with my knowledge today, I would move this out to the cron tab, to the Docker contain here. So I will move it here. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I think this, or I have to remove. I don't remember how the format is. Okay, but now this information is only in the, and I can do the same with this environment. So I can say, okay, I can put it here, doesn't matter where. And I think this. Okay, and it's now it's going to be a little bit clearer because this I don't think I move, because I have to do it. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this also in Docker compose file. This command. I don't know. I'll have to check that. Okay, but this basically I can do that. I move the two parameters that are only relevant, two commands that are only relevant to one of the executions of this image. I move them here. Okay, inside the Docker compose, where and only to this one, not the cron one. Okay.
Okay.
I won't commit it now. I will first test it, of course, and then I'll commit it. But basically, this is the idea. Any questions about this?
Not at the moment.
Okay, so I put it here. Where are we? GitHub, subgov, Bidiker. So this is the URL of these projects that we saw. So you have easily the links. Okay, and then the final one here is still related to this project, so maybe I move it up here. Is let's see how it works. Okay, let's see how it works after I made these changes. So Docker compose from I started to okay, whatever. I used to have a single shared virtual environment for Python, all of my projects, and sort of because I was lazy. But in the last couple of days, I started to have separate virtual environments for each project. And specifically Docker Compose, the command Docker Compose is a Python command. And in my computer, it was installed with pip install in this shared virtual environment. And one can install it differently, but this is what I had. So now I have to load this virtual environment just to run Docker Compose. Up. And so I can say it -d, and then it will run as a daemon. I can run it without it, and then now is invalid. Okay. So let's Docker Compose YAML. You know what? Git status, git stash. I put away my recent changes, so I'll figure out what I didn't write correctly in how I configure the environment variable. Okay, so I started it. I guess that the image was already built earlier, and that's why. And so I had an image already, and that's why it started so fast, because it didn't have to do anything with the image. If I go back here, I don't see anything about it. Okay, so I guess it was just reusing the already existing images. And here it says it's starting 3 containers. And you can see here the logging of the 3 of my Mongo, and this is the web one. Okay. And it says port 5000. Let's say if it's here. No. Oh. Huh. So what was the number? Do you remember?
6001.
Okay. Because apparently on the local host, I'm running on another project currently. That's the Cantonico project. Oh, here you are. Okay. So 6001. This is the PyDigger. The database is almost empty here because I didn't run anything here. I played around with it just yesterday, I think. So now I can come here and Docker PS, Docker exec. Actually, let me see the README, because I think in the README I put it here. Yes. So in the README, I have this command, Python, the explanation. This is how I connect to the cron. Okay, let's open another one here. So this command is how, so this is the name, pydigger cron 1 dash docker yes pydigger cron 1. So this is the name of the container. So this is how I connect to it and start bash on it. So this is the cron container. And then I have here a command saying run the collection. So now it's running the collection. Okay, that goes to PyPI and collects the data and updates the database, and apparently it already finished. And why did it finish? I don't know. Oh, because it's a single GitHub repository. Okay. This is the long one. This is what runs really collects the real data. So there are just examples how to run part of the system. Now I can go back and say, okay, so this is the website. And somewhere it says books, I guess. I don't remember where it's written, so I think it's PyDigger templates. Okay, so here it is. PyDigger templates include menu. And just for fun, or for the demo, I say my books. I save it, and it's updated. And in the meantime, also the database was updated, so you can see more data here. But now you can see.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's my books. And so this is just a template, but I can also PyDigger website, I think. Where is something that I can, this is the, where is this, the main page? How can I find easily the main page? I don't know. Ah, it's here. Okay, so this is basically the mapping of the slash to show list. And now just so you can demo it, let's say Kukuriku, and it says not found. And I can say, I can copy this to say Kukuriku and then return hello. And hopefully it gives me some error. Oh, because I gave the same name, function name. Okay. So I copied the function name, and now I had two functions with the same name. So, okay. Okay. So I can edit also the, in this case, the Python file, and it will be updated immediately because it's reloading. I can actually go find, if I can find it, yes. So let's see this one. I removed this, go back to the, and then you can see that it already says that detected a change. So this is PyDig, this is Flask basically noticing that, or whatever web server it's running. Okay, so it's like a, in Perl world, it's a PSGI based, it's here, it's a WSGI based, I guess, web server that it's used for development purposes primarily, and then it notices the change and restarts.
I've got Plaque running in the background here doing some work. So
okay, so this is basically the same.
Yeah.
Okay, it's no difference. And then obviously, if I reload now, then it will say not found because I removed that route. So that's what I wanted to show in this item, the saying show editing a project while it's running in Docker Compose. Okay, so now I can do basically anything on this project locally. I can edit the files, and while I'm editing the files, I can see the changes immediately. And everything is basically separated from my computer, except of my editor, of course. So I'm editing on my computer, in my environment, but it's running inside a Docker.
You probably answered this question probably last week.
Let's see if I can.
Wait, why not? Yeah, why not run all these within one Docker environment? Why have you got?
Why do you have several ones? Because that's I think, I mean, that's my understanding of the idea of Docker, that each service runs separately, so you can start and stop them separately. You can, if you were using Kubernetes for deployment or Swarm, Docker Swarm, then you can actually configure to duplicate some of them separately more. So, and then you can, okay, that was a strange sentence. So you could duplicate each one of them anytime you want,
Yeah.
totally separately. So maybe the database, you only will have one, but the others, maybe you have several web servers, and then you might have in front of it something. Okay. And Docker Compose will allow you to imitate basically this environment of having separate entities. But it's not only that I think is the primary thing. So the Docker basically provides you this separation of things. And in a real environment, you will for my purposes, I only have a really small server. I don't need much. Everything is running on the same. I have a single MongoDB database, single node. It's not that important. For a real-world project, sorry. Yeah, I just noticed that something is connected to the electricity. That shouldn't be. Okay, so a real-world project, you would probably have the MongoDB database on a separate set of servers, probably 3 or 5, or I don't know what, let's say MongoDB, but other databases, it would be probably managed by some database team, maybe, okay, who know how to handle these things. But in the development environment, you would use your own single MongoDB. And then you would have some configuration options saying, okay, in this environment, connect to this server. In that environment, connect to some other name and with other credentials.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you don't, so in the production environment, you wouldn't have this MongoDB. But in locally, it's much easier that I don't have to rely on someone giving me access rights to some database somewhere.
Okay.
For development, right? Yeah. Okay, where is my terminal now? Found it. Okay. Okay, something like this. So the next item would be to take one of the projects and then deal with that project. Start playing with that. So here I basically here, because I didn't run the Docker Compose in the background with -D, I just press Ctrl+C and it will stop them because they are running in front. And I close this editor, and this is already closed. So everything is done now. Okay, so participants. And that's you, right?
That's me, yeah.
That's you. So let's pick one of your projects.
Yeah, actually, I was going to suggest maybe one's not on the list because I've added it recently.
Okay.
You might remember I've
something is in MetaCPAN?
Yeah,
Look for
I'll
it.
just try to. I think it's this guy. I'll have to.
Oh, okay. In the meantime, I'll just making some.
How should I post that to you? I can text you somehow, can't I? This thing. Chat.
We didn't have it in the last session. No, we don't have it. We don't have it mentioned here.
It's that guy. But actually, I've got one version of my own, which I should have.
It was a project, I think, of Neil Bowers, right?
No. It's a different one. It's one. I've given you the wrong link now. Just a sec. It's you know, this pull request club thing.
Yes, I started to do, but it gave me a project now that like 100% test coverage,
okay.
no open issues. So I said, okay, I might. So shall I open this one?
Hang on a minute.
Perl services, this Zilla sync cpan file.
Yeah, that's the one. But I've actually got a fork of it, which I should have given you the link to.
Well, I can find the fork here.
Yeah.
No.
You should be able to, yeah.
No, but actually, it doesn't say any fork here. There's no
it says I've got one.
Wait.
I can't find it, although
Forks. No, it says no forks.
But when I tried to create it, well, I actually ended up trying to find it, and it said I'd already got one, which is kind of driving me around the bend at the moment. Fork. Create a new view existing forks. It says I haven't got one, but if I go to well, okay, I'll create one here. It's it's got confused. I don't know why it won't let me create one, because it says I've already got one, but I can't find one in my stuff. So
would you like to share the screen so we can?
I could do that, but what I've done is I've actually got two GitHub IDs. One of them's my personal, which is what I've been using, and the other one is my work one, and I've just created it on my other ID, which I will.
Yeah. The strange thing that the GitHub itself doesn't say that there is a fork.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's strange. Now I can't find the. And there we are. That one. Oh, maybe.
You sent me this separate one now?
Yeah, so that's the. I've just created a fork for that now. So that's
this Zilla plus. Wait a second. This Zilla plugin sync cpan file. And this is okay.
This is okay.
Okay, now I can see this fork. Okay, I click here on forks and I can somewhere review existing forks. No fork repository is found. Strange. Why it doesn't say anything?
I don't know. I'll share my screen.
No, I'm okay, but I could find it here. The link that you sent, that's no problem. I just don't understand why.
I don't know. They're strange because if you go to, it says there's two forks. One of them's and they're both to my two repositories. But if I connect to, in fact, if I do it now, it's saying I can create one to the. It's letting me create another one, but it's telling me the fork already exists to Yew Cottage, and but I can't find it in my list of repositories, so I don't understand.
Yeah. See, I asked it to do most stored. I mean, it doesn't active. It says this is the list, no forks.
I know there's something strange going on.
Okay.
I might have to. God, this is a mess. So let's go back to something else because this has obviously got confused about something.
Okay.
Which one? What I was trying to do.
I mean, we could. Okay. We could pick up one of your projects.
I was going to find another one. This is mostly out of. Oops.
Sorry?
This is mostly out of the pull request club, so I get a lot of these things. Okay, so let's go to.
You don't want any of this project you already have listed?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find one that's worth that's kind of interesting, really.
Well, I mean, among all the the five that you have listed here, I think the only one that it seems relatively easy for now is the types.
Okay. Okay, let's do that.
Other ones will need some data, some more setup probably. So let's try this one.
Okay.
And then if we manage to do this one, then we can go with a more complex one. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So I just copied this thing here, the link, and let me go to this. Now I already cloned it last time, so I have it here. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just run a git pull in case that was updated. And now I can. So it uses this Zilla. Okay. So what I try, I mean, I can use my own Perl. I might install this Zilla here, but for our experience, let's start with this Docker image that I have. So I have this alias dr that will open that playground that we talked about at the beginning, and now if I run ls-l, I have this all the information here, and I can run zil test, and it will tell me something. Okay, so it tells me that some of the auto deps are missing. So let's run this one. So there's more stuff to be installed. So first of all, or not so first of all, I'm going to copy this now and go probably work playground, and I put it here for the meantime for myself. So maybe I'll install them later, add them to this.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just save it for now. But here inside the image, I run this command. Actually, I should have run it with
no test.
No test. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay, it hopefully will be faster. And then we can, in the meantime, really, there are so many plugins. That's crazy. I mean, okay. Okay, I couldn't figure out how to do this to make it nice from the beginning. So I only know how to add the same amount of stuff.
If you used Control V.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay.
But then it just it's yeah. Okay, so in the meantime, I updated this as well. Oh, and it's here. Okay, so we can go continue. So now, does it stay? Oh, nothing is missing. So let's run this ZIL test. And it's failing. So why is it failing? Could not load library types OPM. Where is this types OPM? Types.
It's
yeah. Okay. So it's part of the distribution.
That's a good question. I haven't looked at this for a while.
It's really strange. Could not load types OPM. Can't locate OPM parser in English.
Well, you must have got lib in your
I mean, Perl 5 lib equal lib. This will probably do it, but yeah. I'm surprised that we still didn't. This is now surprising. OPM. Oh, it says now a different sum. It says OPM parser.
Yeah.
Lib OPM. It's not here. So
you've not. There's a CPAN file in there. You've not managed. It's one of the files that's in there. So you've done the diesel things, but you haven't done the CPAN stuff.
Oh, ZIL. What do I need to do?
I don't know what diesel does, but I mean, I would do CPAN N. That picks up the CPAN file. No test, probably. Yeah.
This.
Okay. Maybe it needs. I can't remember. Such a long time since I looked at this.
Okay, let me check something here. We are. This is the types running. So first of all, okay, let's see the README. Does it say what? No, it won't say because this is just the documentation, right? Oh, it is. It's here. CPAN this ZIL. Okay, ZIL author depth. ZIL list depths. Okay.
That's the one.
Okay.
It's that list depths, isn't it?
Okay, so this is the other one that we have to run.
Yeah.
And while it's working, and then you can run the ZIL test. So first of all, extra points for all the for René to have this in the README file. Okay, that's one of the things that I'm trying to now do is to get the participants of my courses. Now I already have 3 of these running at the same time, different stages, to have to go to one of the projects they like, okay, or that they don't like, whatever, and try to set up the local development environment, and based on the README file or based on a file that contributions or something like this that should be in the repository. And if there are no instructions, then add those instructions as a pull request. So send a pull request adding those instructions, how to set up the development environment, because it helps a lot for people in case like us who are not that familiar with ZIL, but maybe are familiar with other part of Perl environment, or or they are not that familiar with the Perl environment, the packaging environment, that is still working on it really hard now on libxml. And it will fail probably because it will no, that's the alien package. So no, the alien package is going to download the whatever is needed. But that's a lot of running here.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there is this dr command I have now that we discussed at the beginning, and I'm starting to feel that it's not really good, because once I leave this container, it will remove the container. So all the which I thought it's a good idea, because I said, okay, I will play with this, and then I don't want it to stay around those images. But now we are installing, and it took us, I don't know, 10 minutes to install all this stuff. Even with no test. So maybe, and if now I close the container, then it's gone. So maybe I need to have these containers persistent somehow, and then start them again, and then so I can keep working in the same open source project for some time, and then at the end remove them. So I'll have to think how I deal with this. Anyway, this has installed, so now I should be able to run zeal test. And now it works. Okay, well, okay. So what is this? Yeah. Where is this project? There are no issues here. It's called types run AB. So let's go to metacpen dist types run AB and see what does it say. So the testers, the cpan testers, say that everything is fine in the released version. On the other hand, it was released more than 2 years ago. Maybe something changed in the external dependencies since then that now are breaking the code. Right?
Absolutely.
So I don't know what is this issue. Failed test OPM should accept OPM parser object. Okay, so the first thing I would do now is report this bug.
Yeah.
I mean, we can keep trying to figure out what is the problem, even after, and then we can close the issue if we find it. But maybe the author will say no, how to fix it. What do you think?
I think I should check to see whether the repository is up to date or not.
Sorry?
What's it called again? Types. It's behind. It's possible. Okay, so I'm just thinking the fault. Because it's quite, I mean, it's 2 commits behind live, and it's
2 commits behind. Let me check.
Well, it is.
You have your own brand somewhere? I mean,
Yeah, I've got.
Because I don't see your fork here either. Oh, it's here. So that's one. Okay, so you say, shall I try to switch to yours?
Oh, you're using his, are you? I thought you were using that one. You're using his.
Yes, I'm using the original one,
Okay.
the official one.
I tried to sync it, and it's actually just circling round.
This branch is 2 commits ahead and 2 commits behind.
Yeah, I've just done a sync fork on it, and it's kind of sitting here and glaring at me, not doing anything useful.
So, okay. In any case, so there are a couple of things. I mean, one of them is it would be good to update your version from here, verify that your version works before we make any changes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Then try to update your version with the 2 commits that he has. Okay, you actually, where are you trying to sync it?
I'm doing it on GitHub.
On GitHub.
It seems to have stopped it now. I don't know. It's still saying the same thing.
And I personally would try to set up GitHub Actions for this. It has a Travis file, but Travis is not working. So we should set up a GitHub Actions file, a workflow.
Okay.
To have tests running.
If I can do it locally.
Shall we switch to your computer? Your computer, what you're doing?
I probably need to pull. Let's just want me to share my screen then.
Okay, and then I stop the sharing, and then you can share your screen.
If I can remember how. Share screen.
Big green button at the bottom.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it depends on whether it's hidden or not. It's not. I can fix it. Okay. So I've just done. Can you see that, or is it too small?
It's too small. Yeah. If
okay.
you could enlarge it, that would be nice.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm rather oddly, I can't see the left-hand half of my. Come on, guys! It's not that difficult.
It's good. It's good for me.
Okay, that's fine. I can read most of it. So I really need to pull from his repository, don't I? So I need to add. What do I need to do? Oh, I didn't want to do that.
You would like to add the remote?
Yeah, I need to pull from his, don't I?
And
so
you prefer to edit this, or you?
Well, no, I prefer to put it by hand, as it were, by the git command, but I can't remember.
Oh, so it's if you. I mean, this one I remember the command. It's git remote add, git remote remote add. You put here the name that you want to give it, upstream or whatever.
Okay, I'll call it upstream.
Remy or upstream.
Yeah.
And then you put here the URL that you would use to clone it.
Okay, so which is the easiest way of doing that is to do.
I mean, you go to the browser. You don't have to show it. And it just from GitHub you can.
Yeah, I've copied it. Yeah, that's what I've just done. Okay, so now I can say git.
If it's a git remote, if you can say git remote minus v.
Sorry.
Git remote minus v.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see them.
Okay.
Okay.
Upstream, presumably. Ooh.
Okay. Okay, so this fetched only, didn't pull. So you have to say where, in which branch to write. So you say git status. Okay.
Yeah.
So no, it's okay. If you go and run the git pull again, but you will now say also master at the end. So it's upstream master, and then you're pulling into your master. Okay, so it wants to know if you prefer to merge or rebase, and it used to be some default, but you have to give it default. So I personally prefer the rebase option usually when I pull stuff.
I'm not sure what I want to do. So you reckon I should just do that?
This is what I do, yes. Okay, whatever. I don't know this. Now I'll go just git log. So these the last two ones. That's my commit. You see, one of the commits that were ahead of you is my commit.
Okay.
2 years ago. Then I changed the URL from HTTP to HTTPS.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and I think he didn't release anything since then.
That's good.
Okay, so actually, let me check. You can go to your. We should have done this earlier. Run this git log to see what do you have and what was the last commit you had. But you can do this in GitHub now. You can check in GitHub in your clone. If all the commits both of your commits, like this back out and essential remote. Okay, so these are there. Actually, this okay. Oh, wait a second. My commit was already in your in your repository, so that's not the one. And the update changes was so apparently his two commits are not in
the branch.
Weren't merged in or put in the branch. Let me try to figure out what. So something with you, doing with something to do with you, he has there. Because it says, so in his commits, okay. So somehow he took somehow he took your commits and moved it to his repository without you knowing, basically, because that looks like if you look at his, I'm looking at it in GitHub now, which you can't see and no one can see who is watching the video, but would you want to switch to your browser, or shall I share?
Yeah, no, I can switch. Yeah, if I can figure out to do. Okay. Stop share.
I think that he already has your two commits. We just have to make sure that he really has.
Let's go for that one. Probably make it bigger again.
So this is his repository, and then open a separate window on your fork, or you already have it.
No, I don't. It's a different one. It's too easy. That would be too easy.
Here you have, oh, that's a property, that's something else. So click on commits on the right, a little bit lower and right.
That one.
Yeah. So you can see that the HTTP to HTTPS is in both, and then here you have that you committed, and then somehow it's here. So let's see first of all if the SHA is the same. That should then the GitHub should have noticed that they are the same. So can you look at this? Is the first the topmost SHA starts with 7.1.
Okay, that one guy.
Yeah. So can you go to the? No, I didn't mean to click on that, but
okay.
Can you go to the your browser now? Your
okay.
Chrome now and see if. No, just switch to your tab.
Oh, okay. You want? Sorry, you want that guy?
Yeah. Yeah. So the numbers are different. So these are effectively different commits. Sorry, it's 1.8 now. This is where his one and the other tab was yours, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So we can try to compare these two commits that you have here and that you are because but it seems that they are the same, right?
Right.
So
let's see. What does this tell us? What they are?
Yeah, it's just showing those two commits.
And I said it's a bit strange, isn't it?
I guess he
took
your commits,
one of them in,
and applied to his own project.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what he did.
Just make sure that these are really the same commits, so you didn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. I mean, I remember the change, which was, I don't know if you've come across OTRS. It's ticketing system, fault system, and it's sort of. I don't know what the status of it is, but the community version has ceased to be. So this is a result of that, basically. That this is no longer strictly OTRS anymore. So, so the change was just to change OTRS to OPM, essentially.
Okay.
Which is simple enough, except for this one, which is there's one place where you had to keep OTRS, which is not that one, unfortunately.
But anyway, it fails on my
one.
computer for some reason, or not even my computer, in the Docker image, Docker container.
Yeah, so that
you had to have.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'll do is probably before next week, I'll try and set up a Docker image and reproduce all this stuff so that I can actually look at it and see what the problem is. See whether it's a meta problem, there's something not set up properly, or whether it really is a problem. Anyway, I'll do that, and I will regard it as my task of the week, is to figure out what the hell's going on there.
Yeah, but I would definitely. I mean, in any case, I would open it and issue with it, and then close it if once you found the explanation. Because for one thing, maybe Rene. No, see, I mean, probably he's not using it, but maybe he notices it and says, "Oh, I know what is the issue," and tells you without a lot of involvement. And even if not, you will get it documented for the next person who might, even if you close it, if the same error message gets to someone, then they will see, okay, this was the issue, and this is how you solve it. I mean, especially if it's a configuration issue,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
a good idea. I mean, other people will fall in this. That's one thing. And the other thing that I would definitely do, if you would like, we can do it together now, or we can do it next week. It's already past the 2 hours we have that. You just arrived with. Definitely, I would configure GitHub Actions to run the tests. Okay, on multiple versions of Perl, maybe on multiple operating systems, if it's possible, if it's even running this one on multiple operating systems, and that's it. And then maybe I would even schedule it to run it, I don't know, once a week. So if something changes in the dependencies, then the author will get a notification. Okay, there's something that was last week passed. Now this doesn't pass the test, even though I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And at the minimum, you can open an issue to the other project that now broke your code.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sort of my my thinking. Okay, so good task. If you can find more of these,
yeah.
I mean, the basic idea, and I'll put in the README file. One of the ideas is to set up the local environment for whatever project you would like. Would you like to stop the sharing now?
No, so I just had somebody just pestered me from work. I just had to give a quick go away to them.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. No.
Okay.
I can stop sharing. Yeah, there's not much.
Yeah, just because there is a blog post now. So.
Bang. There we go.
We had I included it in the Perl Weekly. This blog post.
Okay.
So one of them is to set up, try to run the tests, whether inside the Docker container or outside. It's less matters less, but try to set up a local environment. If you manage to look at the README, if it's missing the explanation how to set up, then maybe add it and configure GitHub Actions if you can. If not, then we can do it next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we configure GitHub Actions so these tests will run on every push at least.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then every pull request, and maybe even with a cron job. So these external dependencies can be caught. The changes in external dependencies. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, I might pester you in the week. That's all I'm trying to.
Sure, go ahead. That's the reason we have this lecture now, to ask me questions during the week, and then I can disregard them.
Okay.
Or not. I mean, if I have time, I answer as fast as I can.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Cheers.
Okay. So see you.
Bye.